want to introduce you ClaroLab. We are an Argentinian company based in Junín, Buenos Aires province, and it was founded in 2006. We have over 12, 13 years of experience, mostly on quality assurance. We have a few customers, but with a high satisfaction. What proved that? We have long-term services contracts with each engineer working for over 5 years in the same customer. We have an open culture, collaborative, with a great involvement of each member, and based in that experience that was in development, testing, manual testing, automated testing, security testing, performance testing, etc. Given all our experience, we now arrived at the point we developed a tool that is t-Triage, that now Francisco is going to introduce you it. Enjoy. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, thank you. Hello all. First, what we are going to analyze is the tool and why it was built. Time ago, we used to have these classic charts coming from reporting tool or continuous integration tools, and the conclusion from it is that good job, you have a very good fail-pass rate. But after that immediate analysis, we start having the question, but what about those 5 errors or 36 errors? Are real any product bug there? How often did you check the failures? How many people is involved by checking those failures, and if are all working, are all validating, or just some people are creating tests, others validating? Are you having all errors that you are keeping them along the years? Can you fix them? What kind of analysis we can do from all that? So this graphic is a little bit short from that. That's why we end up introducing the t-Triage tool. This tool starts from scratch, from scripts, then getting better and better, and nowadays we have a product that we are releasing today. Basically, it's analyze all these areas. It can let you basically manage your automation team. You can distribute the workload. You can check how efficiently are you in this moment. You can analyze triage failures. I mean, when you have some test that is failing, you can analyze and see why it is failing, if it involves some product bug. Then you can see if your automated tests are failing and why they are failing, if you need to fix them, if you need to create more. In our tool, we have the ability to plan that and start doing it and manage and measure them. On the other hand, you have the smart auto triage. If you have some old errors, you don't need to triage them again. We already know it. There's a section with all the manual test case tools, and also the trends insights that let you analyze and see how your trends are. Before jumping to the tool, let's see some more definition. What is triage? It means to analyze and classify. So basically, it will give you, after your analysis, you will have a sense of why it's failing and if there's a product bug involved in it. Let's see the tool. What you can see here is your test suite. I mean, This is a set of tests. So in the content test suite, you have several tests. For example, that 4 of them are failing. You have new fails and you have old fails. Below you can see all other classifications that you may have. So for example, you may have some pre-production where you have a list of test suites, and in this case you have only one that is failing. So that's a good number, but still, 1 doesn't mean that your test suite is fine. If that failure is a bug, we need to know it right now. Basically, how it works, we grab information from your continuous integration tool, like Jenkins, Circle, Bamboo. We process and start adding more information around it, like when should be the deadline. This is planned by the tool. In this case, the deadline is today. How important is it to triage? It contains the priority 1. And also the assignee. So you know who will perform this triage. So let's start seeing what's inside each test suite. So here you have a Kanban. Basically, this Kanban has classified all the test failures. New fails means that those are failures that happens just right now. It used to pass all the time, and suddenly it is failing. We can see the test indeed that, in fact, this test has been always passing, and suddenly it fails. A failure means that sometimes pass, sometimes fail. It's not that clear. And it needs also some analysis. And the new pass column, this is different. This is a pass. You don't need to be scared about it. But basically, it is a test that has always been failing, and suddenly it passed. So we put it here because probably you will need to do something with this test, like close an external ticket, perform a broader analysis on why it has passed now. And the goal of the tool is that you put everything on triage done. So like a typical Kanban, that you move the work from the left to right. You can start analyzing the search content, test, and here you can analyze all important information. You can have comments from your previous triage that you have done that are in generally mostly useful for now. And after that, you need to perform a triage action. So what's that? Basically, we care about 2 things. If the product is working fine or not, and if the automated test is working fine or not. This is what we mostly care. So let's see that this manual test, you have manually tested the application and it works fine. And around automated test, let's say that it is failing because there's a bug in your automation. So basically you need to put a priority. Let's say you need to fix the test and you press triage done. After that, you get immediately moved to triage done section. So here the goal is still manual. This is something that you need to do, but the learning is from the next day. So next day, this test will fail again. But you don't need to move again to the triage done column. It will go automatically. Why? Because you already specified that there's an automation issue. And we're going to see in a bit how the automation issues, then what happened with them. But let me show you that this suite, for example, contains more tests that has been automatically triaged by the application. This means it was automatically triaged, and the reason why. For example, this was an old failure that you have triaged, and you specify that there was a product bug, and also there was an automation issue. So you don't need to worry in the following executions, and you start getting faster and faster. Your work now is to do it with all these tests. So you can say, okay, this is not working. There's a product bug. You can assign a ticket and then select triage done. It will also go to the right. It's your job done. About this one is exactly the same. You need to triage it. Maybe you can say, okay, everything was fine. It was an external cause. Okay, we're going to record it. And next time, the application will help you depending on the needs. For example, in this case, that you said that everything was working fine and there was just an environment issue, next time the application will analyze. If you still have the environmental issue, then it will classify again. But if you don't have that environmental problem, then it won't be classified. And you will see that again here that you'll need to triage again. For this, that are tests that are passing, it's easy. You need to specify that the application is working or not and why. So, and they won't bother you anymore. And that's it. You have complete and analyzed the entire suite. So if you go to the triage page, you don't see that your work is clean. This happens in time to time, and those are good news. So right now you can start improving by fixing open automated issues. So if you remember, we added that one of the tickets was having some automation issues. Here in the menu, we can see that there are automation issues, automation creation, manual tests, etc. But let's start focusing on the automation issues first. As you can see, there's a list of all the automation issues. You can perform several filters in order to narrow down the list. You can pin them, so are easy to find them. And in particular, here we find the one that we just notified that it has a bug. So you can start fixing it in your browser or in your IntelliJ or Eclipse. And as you can see, you cannot close them, you cannot do anything with this. You can just add comments. So next run that the continuous integration tool see that this test is passing, it will get automatically transition to passing. As you can see, one of the filters is hide passing. Well, in this case, I don't have anyone that is passing right now, but it will show up also the passing ones. And also you can see that those are in order of priority. Those are the big ones and contains 19 failures, so that's a lot. And it needs some attention. You can navigate to the issues in order to get more information about it. Also here, it could be useful information that when you have the same error that is happening in a different test. So here you can see that are these cases. And here you can also see that there's the same test that is failing in a different test suite. So this is all information that is useful for you, as well as, of course, possible screenshots that you may have, track trace of the error. Then we have all the insights. You can see how many tests you are having right now. This is a demo instance, so we only have 10 tests. And you can see that how many triages are per day. This is counting also passing. How many automation issues you have. A report of your product health, how it's working. So the production, for example, is having the production suite having some error. How is the team performing? And about exceptions, it will help you to identify what are the most common errors that you are having. Then this is still in beta, the manual test, but basically you can have a test repository with all the test cases. You have a lot of information to add on it. You can manage several components, what kind of suite you are using, the technique for this kind of test. So this is security, and it is a business risk, and negative testing, we can say. And all the steps, all this information is important to have because it will help you to then make filters, and those filters will help you to add them to a test suite. So, and to run it. Let's add them to the full regression cycle, these tests. After that, you can run those manual tests. Here you will have all of them. And in this screen, you have all the tests that should be run. And you can also say that they are passing or failing. And I think this is a pretty quick summary of the tool. Also, there's an admin panel where you need to configure and use with your connectors. Let's say if you have a Jenkins, GitLab, and you need to configure the parameters. I'm not going to enter in detail here, but it's pretty easy to be done. And after you make the connector, you need to specify, okay, from my Jenkins, what kind of folders am I going to grab? So here you specify all of them. And also how frequently you need to triage them. For example, every 2 days, or you always need to have everything validated by Monday, and who's the person that should do it. So that's where you configure all your automations. And from those configurations, you will end up having this personalized view from your test. I hope you liked the presentation. If you have any question, please contact us to these emails. You can also write on the chat, but since the delay on YouTube, probably we will see later the questions. So feel free to reach us in these emails, and we will answer you in brief. We have the application that is in trial, so you can use it several months and try it if it works for you, for your process, and just let us know any feedback that you may have. Thank you very much. I hope you like it.
Thank you.